25 years ago, this was Zaire's dictator Mobutu Sesekou's palace. Today, Africa's most expensive mansion is now home to rats, bats, snakes, and birds. A few ruined walls, and a pile of stones under the tall grass, are what remain of Mobutu's luxurious residence in his fiefdom of Kabila. Here, he had built an airport, where flights from Europe would land. He had 700 workers. They included 300 armed soldiers, a fleet of Mercedes, a hydroelectric plant, sports facilities, and a discotheque. Mobutu was the local economy. He was the economy. It is estimated that the magnificent structure, constructed on a large expanse of land, equivalent to a minimal game park, cost £100 million. It was nicknamed the Versailles of the jungle. And, for a reason. In the early 1970s, Kabila was a remote village of 1,500 people. They lived in mud brick huts and poverty. Kabila was not even marked on maps. But Mobutu, with power and hubris, hacked a modern town out of the tropical rainforest. He gave his village modern houses, schools, hospitals, municipal buildings, a 5-star hotel, a 3,200 meters runway for the supersonic Concorde. He had 3 palaces. Kabila was the symbol of power. Like the Belgian King Leopold II, who had turned Congo at his personal fiefdom, killing and enslaving the population to enrich himself with ivory and rubber, Mobutu followed the same route. He had been helped by the CIA to get rid of Independence Prime Minister Patrice Lumumba. In 1963, he was invited by President John F. Kennedy to the White House. Here, he was effectively recruited to the capitalist side of the Cold War. With the U.S. backing, Mobutu was untouchable. 2 years later, he declared himself head of state, renamed his country Zaire, and renamed himself Mobutu Tsetsesekou Kokong Bendu Waza Banga, meaning the all-powerful warrior who, because of endurance and an inflexible will to win, will go from conquest to conquest, leaving fire in his wake. He then adopted his infamous leopard skin hat. Ruling a country rich in minerals, Mobutu amassed an estimated fortune of $5 billion and lavish properties around the world. He set a bad example as Africa's greatest kleptocrat, thus inspiring many other dictators. Kabila was the centerpiece. It was designed by Tunisian-born French architect Olivier Clement Kakoub and Senegal's Pierre Goudiaby Atepa. His private palace, 7 miles outside town in Kawel, brimmed with paintings, sculptures, stained glass, ersatz Louis XIV furniture, marble from Carrara in Italy, and 2 swimming pools. There were loudspeakers which played his beloved Gregorian chants or classical music. Here, Mobutu hosted countless gaudy nights with Taittinger champagne, salmon and other food served on moving conveyor belts by Congolese and European chefs. Those who visited Kabila included Pope John Paul II, the King of Belgium, French President Valéry Giscard d'Estaing, UN Secretary-General Boutros Ghali, Central African Republic self-declared Emperor Jean-Bedel Bokassa, and American televangelist Pat Robertson. Then, the Berlin Wall came down. And Cold War ended. Mobutu was now exposed. As resistance started from the east led by Laurent Kabila, Mobutu, suffering from prostate cancer, fled the country. He died in Morocco shortly after, aged 66. In a tit-for-tat, his homes were invaded by looters and stripped bare by soldiers who smashed furniture, tore down silk wallpaper and stole everything down to the last bauble in an orgy of pillaging. Buildings like this were halted mid-construction. Nobody seems to know what Mobutu was building. Today, the giant circular bay at his palace that once held water is dry, cracked and sprouting weeds. Within one palace, a brown and gold gateway still stands on the edge of the grand estate opposite a cluster of small homes. Inside, only 2 of the forlorn big cats are still in position. The entire roof of the palace is gone. Only a skeleton of red steel girders remains, punctuated by tall trees. Mattress foam, smashed marble, and slivers of glass crunch underfoot. The compound that was Congo's center of power and opulence is back to the jungle. Kabila Airport that enabled him to charter Concorde, the fastest passenger plane in the world, for extravagant trips to Europe is no more. Only small planes land in the vast runway. The world of Mobutu seems to have ended the way it began. A lesson to thieves. Don't forget to subscribe to History Works TV channel. Share and comment.